What if I told you the one thing you're doing every single day without even thinking is silently feeding your prostate problem? I can't stay quiet anymore. Seniors, this isn't just a warning, it's a wake-up call. Have you ever had one of those mornings where everything seems normal, but something just feels off? Maybe you didn't sleep as well. Maybe you found yourself making more trips to the bathroom than usual. Maybe you're just plain tired and you can't figure out why. You chalk it up to aging, right? Just one of those things, you tell yourself. But what if I told you there's a silent culprit at work behind the scenes? A habit so common, so routine, you probably do it without a second thought, every single day. And this one small act might be the reason your prostate is gradually swelling, draining your energy, disturbing your sleep, and making life a whole lot more uncomfortable than it needs to be. My friend, if you're over 60 and experiencing frequent bathroom visits at night, slow urine flow, or even just a nagging sense that something's not quite right down there, I need you to hear this. Not because I want to scare you, but because I care about your comfort, your health, and your independence. And I know how frustrating it is when nobody seems to talk plainly about what men go through as we age. I've seen it in my own circle. Men who were sharp, strong, and full of life, suddenly slowed down by something they didn't see coming. It didn't happen overnight. It snuck in gradually. And the heartbreaking part? It could have been prevented, or at least made a whole lot easier to manage. But no one warned them that this one small daily habit, something as ordinary as a cup, a snack, or even the time they eat, was quietly making things worse. So today, let's break the silence. No medical jargon. No lectures. Just a warm, honest conversation between us about what's really going on with your prostate and what you can do right now to turn things around. Because the truth is, an enlarged prostate, or BPH as doctors call it, is incredibly common in men over 60. But common doesn't mean normal, and it certainly doesn't mean you have to live in discomfort or fear. There are things you can do today that might change your tomorrow, and it starts by shining a light on this one hidden habit. Now, before we dive in, can I ask a small favor? If you're someone who values clear, practical advice to help you age with grace, give this video a thumbs up. It's not just about helping our channel grow. It helps this message reach more seniors who might be quietly struggling with the same concerns as you. And believe me, you're not alone. You see, your prostate is a small gland, but it plays a big role in your overall wellness, especially as you get older. It sits just below the bladder and surrounds the urethra, the tube that carries urine out of your body. When it starts to enlarge, often due to hormonal shifts, inflammation, and yes, poor habits, it begins to press on that tube like a kink in a garden hose. The result? You may feel like you constantly have to go, but only pass a trickle. You may get up 2, 3, or even 4 times a night, completely draining your energy by morning. And over time, it takes a toll not just on your bladder, but on your confidence, your sleep, and even your heart. That's why today's message matters. Because there's something you might be doing, every morning or evening, that's quietly feeding this problem. Something so common no one thinks twice about it, until they're faced with a diagnosis, or worse, a sleepless night that becomes the norm. And I promise, this isn't a fear tactic. It's an invitation to take a gentle, honest look at the habits that are shaping your health. Because once you understand the link, you'll feel empowered to do something about it. And that's the goal here, to give you the power back. So let me ask you, have you ever stopped to notice what you're putting into your body first thing in the morning? Or what you tend to reach for after dinner when you're winding down? It turns out these tiny repeated choices can be the difference between peace and discomfort, between restful sleep and yet another midnight trip to the bathroom. We're going to get into specifics in just a moment. But first, take a breath. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're simply learning what works best for your body now, at this season of life. And trust me, that kind of wisdom is something many younger folks never reach. One thing I hear from so many seniors is this: I wish someone had told me sooner. Well, friend, I'm telling you now. And it's not too late to make a difference. Stick with me because in the next few moments, I'll reveal the everyday culprit that may be quietly enlarging your prostate, and what to do instead. You'll learn how one simple shift can give your bladder a break, support your hormones, and ease that constant pressure. And please, if anything I've said so far rings true for you, feel free to share your story in the comments. You never know who you might help by speaking up. We're in this together, and your journey matters. So, what's the habit we're talking about? The one that seems so small, yet over time has a big, disruptive impact on your prostate health? It's this: drinking caffeine or alcohol late in the day, especially in the evening hours. Now, I know that may not sound groundbreaking. You might be thinking, that's it? My afternoon coffee? My glass of wine with dinner? But hear me out, because this habit might be doing a lot more behind the scenes than you realize. Let's start with caffeine. That late cup of coffee or strong black tea may be giving you a gentle pick-me-up in the moment, but it also stimulates your bladder, increases urine production, and acts as a diuretic. That means your kidneys kick into overdrive, even when your body is trying to wind down for the night. And what's caught in the crossfire? Your prostate. When the prostate is already slightly enlarged, and in most men over 60, it is, this extra pressure forces your bladder to work harder just to pass urine through that narrowed passage. That leads to urgency, frequent trips to the bathroom, and that frustrating feeling of never fully emptying. Now add alcohol into the mix. Wine, beer, a little evening cocktail. It all relaxes your muscles, including the ones in your bladder and urethra. That might feel calming at first, but it also means your urinary system can't contract properly to do its job. Combine that with alcohol's dehydrating effects and hormone disruption, and suddenly you've got a recipe for nighttime wake-ups and poor sleep, all while your prostate silently swells under the strain. And here's the hard truth: most men don't make the connection. They'll blame age or bad luck or even a weak bladder. But in many cases, it's the timing of what you consume, not just what you consume, that creates the domino effect. Now, I'm not here to take away your morning coffee or say you can never enjoy a glass of wine again. That's not realistic, and it's not the point. This is about awareness and learning to work with your body's natural rhythms instead of unknowingly fighting against them. So what can you do? Here's a gentle place to start: set a cutoff time. For most seniors, cutting off caffeine and alcohol by 2 p.m. can make a world of difference. That gives your system enough time to process, flush, and rest before bedtime. And guess what? Seniors who made just that one change often reported fewer nighttime bathroom trips, better sleep, and less daytime fatigue within just a week or two. It's simple. It's subtle. But it works. Now, let's go a layer deeper, because I want to talk about something that isn't on your plate or in your cup. It's in your head and heart. Stress. Yes, stress. The kind you carry quietly. Worries about your health, finances, family, the world, or just that low hum of anxiety that sometimes comes with getting older and wondering what's next. Here's what most people don't know. Chronic stress raises cortisol, your body's main stress hormone. And when cortisol is high, it messes with your entire hormonal system, including testosterone and dihydrotestosterone, DHT, the two hormones most responsible for prostate growth. So yes, stress may be invisible, but its effects are very real. It inflames tissues, increases urgency, disrupts sleep, and can make an already sensitive prostate even more reactive. Have you ever noticed your symptoms get worse on days you're extra worried or tense? That's not your imagination. It's your body responding to emotional strain. And I want you to know, it's okay. You're not weak. You're not failing. You're simply human. Now here's where your power comes in again. You don't have to eliminate all stress to protect your health. That's impossible. But you can build in small moments of peace to help your body reset. Maybe it's a 10-minute walk outside after dinner. Maybe it's sitting on your porch and listening to birds. Or taking deep breaths, slowly and mindfully before bed. These tiny practices calm your nervous system, lower cortisol, and help your hormones come back into balance, naturally supporting your prostate health without a single pill. It's the quiet habits that add up. The things no one sees but your body remembers. And if you're still with me so far, if this is making you think differently about the choices you make each day, I'd love for you to drop a comment below. What's one small habit you've changed, or want to change, for better health? Even if it feels silly, I promise it matters. Your story might be the encouragement someone else needs. You never know who's watching in silence, just waiting for a sign that they're not alone. And trust me, none of us are alone. We're a generation of survivors, of caretakers, of wise, capable souls. We've been through so much already. And every time you choose self-care, even in the smallest way, you're honoring everything you've walked through. You deserve peace. You deserve rest. And you deserve to feel good in your own body again. So remember, it's not about giving things up. It's about making gentle, conscious choices that support your well-being. Maybe that means switching to decaf after lunch. Maybe it's replacing wine with calming herbal tea a few nights a week. Maybe it's just saying no to the evening news and yes to a warm bath. Whatever it is, do it with love. Not punishment. Not fear. Just love for the man you are and the life you still have ahead. Because aging is not a decline, it's a deepening. And every healthy choice is a quiet act of rebellion against the myth that growing older means giving up. Here's something I want you to really hear. Your prostate didn't just change overnight. That urgency, that interrupted sleep, that slow stream when you go to the bathroom, it's not a sudden glitch. It's the result of years of little things stacking up. Habits, hormones, hidden stress, and all the moments you were just trying to make it through the day. But here's the good news, and it's big. Your body remembers how to heal. Even if you've been struggling for years, your body hasn't given up on you. It's just been waiting for you to change the conversation. And once you do, that's when the shift begins. I've seen this happen with men in their late 60s, early 70s. Some of them thought surgery was their only option. Others were told they'd need to take medication forever. But instead, they made small, powerful changes, and within weeks they were sleeping better, going to the bathroom less, and feeling like themselves again. It wasn't a magic pill. It was this. No more caffeine after 2 p.m. A short evening walk to relax the nervous system. Staying hydrated during the day and cutting fluids in the last 2 hours before bed. Gentle pelvic floor exercises to strengthen the bladder and surrounding muscles. Choosing anti-inflammatory foods instead of processed ones. You see, this isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about doing the next right thing one day at a time. And every time you choose something supportive, whether it's your dinner, your drink, or your mindset, you're giving your prostate space to breathe. Literally. Because when that gland is less inflamed, the urethra isn't squeezed so tightly. That means better flow, less urgency, fewer interruptions to your sleep, and more energy in your day. Now let me tell you a story. A friend of mine, let's call him George, came to me frustrated. He was waking up 3 to 4 times a night to pee, exhausted during the day and feeling defeated. He thought it was just part of getting older. But then I asked him one question, "What's your evening routine like?" Turns out, George had a habit of sipping soda and snacking on chips while watching TV at 9 or 10 p.m. Harmless, right? But that soda was loaded with caffeine and sugar, and those chips were filled with sodium and artificial preservatives, all of which increased inflammation and disrupted his sleep. He made just 2 changes, switched to warm chamomile tea in the evening, and swapped chips for a handful of walnuts or pumpkin seeds. 2 weeks later, George was waking up only once per night. A month in, sometimes not at all. His energy came back. His mood lifted. And he told me, "I finally feel like I have my nights back." That's what I want for you too. Because your time matters. Your rest matters. And you deserve to feel good, not just okay, not just getting by, but truly well. And it all starts when we stop believing that symptoms are just something we have to live with. So let's be bold. Let's question the idea that aging equals suffering. Let's listen to the quiet signs our bodies have been whispering for years, and finally respond with care, not frustration. If this message is striking a chord with you, if it's helping you think differently about what's possible, I'd be deeply honored if you subscribe to this channel. Here on Everyday Seniors, we're building more than just videos. We're building a community, a place where you're not judged, you're not forgotten, and you're not alone. We cover the things no one talks about. We tell the truth with warmth. And we believe, in every fiber of our being, that growing older can be a time of strength, clarity, and wisdom. Not decline, not despair, but power. And power, my friend, is what you're reclaiming when you take back your health. So whether your habit is that late-night coffee, or holding it in too long during the day, or simply ignoring the signals your body sends, just know this: it's not too late to change. It's never too late to choose differently. And here's the real shift. When you stop treating your prostate like a problem, and start treating it like a part of you that deserves care, everything changes. This is your turning point. Not because something is broken, but because something inside you is waking up. You were never meant to suffer in silence. You were meant to live with strength, with confidence, and with peace in your own body. So what's one thing you can shift today? Just one. You already know the answer. And I'll be right here cheering you on every step of the way. Now let me share something that's quietly powerful. Something most doctors won't mention, but that nature has been offering all along. Pumpkin seeds. Yes, those tiny green seeds you might have only seen in trail mix or holiday baking. But to your prostate, they're like a warm hug. You see, pumpkin seeds are rich in zinc, one of the most important minerals for men's health, especially after 60. Zinc helps regulate testosterone and DHT levels, the very hormones that play a leading role in prostate enlargement. But they also contain phytosterols, plant compounds shown to support a more balanced, less inflamed prostate. Now, I'm not saying you need to start eating bowls of them. Just a small handful, unsalted and raw if possible, a few times a week can do wonders. Some men add them to oatmeal. Others sprinkle them over salads. One fellow I know keeps a small jar by his recliner and has a few during his evening TV time. Simple, nourishing, and shockingly effective. But it's not just the seeds. It's the act of choosing something healing, something that supports your body rather than works against it. And here's where we deepen this even more. Because the truth is, your prostate health isn't just physical. It's emotional too. Let me explain. In many traditional health systems, from Chinese medicine to Ayurveda, the prostate area is linked to personal power, masculinity, creativity, and even unspoken grief. It's where we carry tension, fear, frustration, and often things we haven't let go of. Have you ever noticed that when life feels overwhelming, your symptoms flare up more? Or that stress tightens your entire lower abdomen? That's not a coincidence. Your body holds emotion, especially in the places we're taught to ignore. That's why simple practices like deep breathing, light stretching, and walking in nature aren't just feel-good extras. They are medicine, and they help your body process the emotional weight that may have been sitting there for years. Try this. Before bed tonight, take 5 slow, deep breaths. Place your hand just below your belly button. Feel the rise and fall. Imagine sending warmth, kindness, even gratitude to that part of your body. It might sound strange at first, but remember, the body hears everything the mind says. When we send love to the places that hurt, healing begins. One viewer recently wrote in saying, "I've always resented this part of my body. Felt like it was broken. But now I'm realizing it's just been asking for attention, for care." That touched me deeply, because so many seniors, especially men, are taught to tough it out, to hide discomfort, to push through pain without ever speaking it. But here on this channel, we're doing things differently. We're not hiding. We're not pretending. We're choosing to be conscious, compassionate, and curious about our bodies again. Not with shame, but with respect. So yes, pumpkin seeds matter. But so does presence. So does slowing down. So does forgiving ourselves for the years we didn't know better. There's a term I love, gentle strength. It means standing tall without force. Healing without panic. Showing up with clarity but also with kindness. That's what we're doing here. That's what your prostate needs more than anything, gentle strength. And when you bring that energy into your daily life, things begin to shift. You start noticing the way your body talks to you. You sleep more soundly. You move with more confidence. You feel less ruled by symptoms and more guided by wisdom. Because healing isn't always about doing more. Sometimes it's about doing less, but with more intention. Maybe that means turning off the TV an hour earlier so you can rest better. Maybe it's swapping one cup of coffee for a calming tea. Or maybe it's finally having that conversation with someone you've avoided, so your body doesn't have to carry that tension anymore. Whatever it is, trust that it matters. Nothing is too small to be sacred, especially when it comes to your health. And remember, your journey is unique. There's no one-size-fits-all when it comes to wellness after 60. But what does work, what always works, is listening, learning, loving yourself through it all. If this message is sitting with you, if something here felt like truth, feel free to give this video a share. Maybe there's someone in your life, a friend, a brother, a neighbor who needs to hear that healing is still possible. That simple things matter. That he's not alone. We're not here to scare anyone. We're here to awaken. To remind you of the quiet strength that's been inside you all along. Because the prostate isn't just a small gland. It's a part of your story. And your story deserves care, clarity, and dignity. Let's carry that into the final part of today's conversation, where we'll wrap it all in hope, empowerment, and a reminder of just how powerful you still are. So if there's one message I hope stays with you today, it's this. Your health is not slipping away, it's simply calling you back. You see, many of us reach our 60s and beyond believing that discomfort, interrupted sleep, and constant trips to the bathroom are just part of the deal. That we should just accept it and move on. But what if that's not true? What if you could feel better, not by doing something extreme but by making a few small, wise shifts? What if your prostate wasn't the enemy, but a signal, a guide? A part of you asking for care, not criticism? You are not broken. You are not behind. And you are not too late. You are more powerful than you've been told. More capable than you feel. And your body, this miraculous vessel that has carried you through joy, heartache, decades of work, and so many responsibilities, it still wants to work with you. And every single habit, every thoughtful change you make starting today matters. Maybe that means letting go of that second cup of coffee in the evening. Maybe it's swapping processed snacks for something nourishing, like a handful of pumpkin seeds or a warm herbal tea. Maybe it's simply honoring your need to rest, before your body has to beg for it. Whatever it is, let it come from a place of love, not fear. Because fear tells you, you're too old, too tired, too stuck. But love? Love whispers, you've still got time. Let's begin today. And here's the beautiful thing I've seen time and again. Men in their 60s, 70s, even late 80s who decided to take that first step. Some started walking 10 minutes a day. Others began journaling to release emotional tension. Some finally spoke to their doctor, honestly, for the first time in years. And guess what? They started sleeping better. They regained energy. Their relationships deepened. Not because they became someone new, but because they returned to themselves. And you can too. Because aging is not about decline. It's about refinement. It's not a closing, it's an opening if you choose to see it that way. So here's what I invite you to do now. Not as a patient, not as a statistic, but as a strong, wise person who still has so much to give and to receive. Take one small action today. Could be as simple as drinking a full glass of water first thing in the morning, taking 5 deep breaths before bed, reaching out to someone you trust and sharing what you've been going through. And then, watch what happens. Watch how your body begins to respond when you approach it like a partner, not a problem. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. In fact, please don't. Healing happens gently in layers with grace. Like sunlight rising slowly across the horizon, quiet but unstoppable. And if this video brought you comfort, or clarity, or just a little more hope than you had this morning, would you do me a kindness? Tap the like button. Not just for me, but to help other seniors who might feel alone in this journey find this video too. Leave a comment. I read every one, and your words might help someone else feel seen, understood, and encouraged. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Everyday Seniors. We're not just sharing health tips, we're building a movement. A place where aging is honored, not feared. Where wisdom is valued and where support flows both ways. Because my friend, this chapter of life, it's not the ending. It's the part where you finally get to turn inward, listen closely, and choose how you want to live, on your terms. Your health, your energy, your peace of mind, they're still within reach. All it takes is that first step. And I'll be here cheering you on every inch of the way. Until next time, take good care of your body, your heart, and your spirit. You've come too far not to thrive now. This is Everyday Seniors, where your age is your strength, and your wisdom lights the path forward. See you soon.
Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. It truly means a lot. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with a friend or loved one who might benefit. And leave a comment below. We love hearing your thoughts and experiences. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest tips and uplifting advice for living your best life at any age. Now, if you're ready for more wisdom and encouragement, just click the video that's on your screen right now. It's packed with even more insights made just for you. Take care, stay positive, and we'll see you in the next one.